Dear curious minds and avid readers, we're glad you're back at Book Depths and Insights. Today we're going to read a book that has changed the way we think about sleep, which is a basic human need. Why We Sleep: Unlocking the Power of Sleep and Dreams by Dr. Matthew Walker is being talked about. Why We Sleep looks at the science behind sleep and how important it is for our health and well-being as a whole. Scribner put it out there. Besides writing the book, Dr. Matthew Walker is a neuroscientist, a professor at Berkeley, and a former psychiatry professor at Harvard University. His book uses 20 years of research, some of which he himself conducted, to show how not getting enough sleep has a catastrophic impact on our health, our life expectancy, our safety, our productivity, and the education of our children. He is a well-known figure in the field of sleep science. The most glaring omission in the contemporary health conversation is, in his words, the lack of talk about the risks of lost sleep. There are 4 parts to the book that take us on an exciting journey through this basic biological urge. Let's look at each part now. Chapter 1. A Little Prayer for Peace. Dr. Walker busts some sleep myths in this first part by giving a definition, going over what happens during sleep, and looking at how our sleep habits change over time. We learn that sleeping isn't just a period of rest, it's a complex, multi-stage process that changes all the time. Non-rapid eye movement, NREM, sleep, and rapid eye movement, REM, sleep are both talked about in the book. There are 4 different stages of non-REM sleep in terms of depth. During the night, these 2 states fight over who has the most control over the brain 90 minutes at a time. The fact that this cycle is lopsided is interesting. Most people fall into deep, non-REM sleep in the morning, but more people fall into REM sleep in the middle of the night. Rapid eye movement, REM, sleep, and deep non-REM sleep are both affected more by not getting enough sleep, whether you stay up late or get up early. Not taking care of your brain in any way can lead to a lot of mental and physical issues. Dr. Walker then says that your circadian rhythm and sleep pressure are the 2 main things that control when you feel awake and when you feel sleepy. The suprachiasmatic nucleus in your brain runs your circadian rhythm, which is your body's own 24-hour clock. It tells the computer how often you'd like to be awake or asleep. This clock keeps running on a roughly 24-hour cycle even when there are no environmental signals, like sunlight. The hormone melatonin, which is also called the hormone of darkness, tells your brain and body that it's slowly getting dark outside. However, melatonin is mostly in charge of controlling when we sleep and not making sleep itself. Blue light from screens in particular is known to stop the production of melatonin and delay the start of sleep. Adenosine is a chemical that builds up in your brain while you're awake. Process S, or sleep pressure, is caused by this buildup. The amount of adenosine in your body affects how sleepy you feel. As you sleep, your adenosine levels drop, which makes your blood pressure go up. Adenosine's signal is blocked by caffeine, which makes you feel more awake. Even though they work together most of the time, circadian rhythm and sleep pressure are 2 different systems. The book points out that most adults in developed countries sleep in a single, shorter bout at night, while people in cultures that don't have electricity tend to sleep in 2 stages, a longer night's sleep and an afternoon nap. In Part 2, we talk about how important sleep is. Part 2 will talk about the amazing ways that sleep helps the brain and body, as well as the bad things that happen when you don't get enough sleep. Single most effective thing we can do to reset our brain and body health each day, says Dr. Walker, and it's not just because it's good for you. Sleep is a very important part of many brain functions. The memory aid that is sleep helps you learn and remember things. The hippocampus, which stores short-term memories in the brain, is cleared out when you sleep before you learn. This makes room for new information to be taken in. Sleep helps to solidify and keep in mind what you have recently learned by sending new information to the cortex to be stored for a long time. Deep non-REM sleep, especially its slow waves and sleep spindles, is very important for this procedure. Being creative and solving problems. Rapid eye movement, REM, sleep can help you think of new ideas and solve problems by combining what you've learned with what you already know in new ways. When we get restorative sleep, the neural pathways in our brains that control our emotions are reset. This helps us deal with problems calmly. Some types of rapid eye movement, REM, sleep seem to help people deal with upsetting memories in a calm environment, like when they go to therapy overnight. Another good thing about getting enough sleep is that it helps you read other people's facial expressions correctly. This book shows in a very real way how bad it is for the brain to not get enough sleep. Focus problems. Not getting enough sleep can cause harmful micro-sleeps and a general loss of focus. Drivers who are sleepy cause more accidents and more deaths than drivers who are drunk. Memory formation and strengthened retention problems. Not getting enough sleep makes it harder for the hippocampus to make new memories and breaks down old ones. Mood and anxiety changes caused by an amygdala that works too hard and other emotional issues caused by not getting enough sleep. Chronic sleep loss is linked to major depressive disorders and anxiety. Brain disease risk. Not getting enough sleep is now known to be a major lifestyle factor in the development of Alzheimer's disease. Lack of sleep may cause amyloid protein to build up in the brain, and bad sleep quality is linked to this buildup, showing a link between the two. Not getting enough sleep hurts the body in many ways. Heart and vascular system. Not getting enough sleep can make coronary artery disease, heart attacks, strokes, and congestive heart failure worse. It raises blood pressure because it keeps the sympathetic nervous system in a fight or flight state. By taking away an hour of sleep, daylight saving time makes the number of heart attacks much higher the next day. Metabolic. Not getting enough sleep makes it more likely to get type 2 diabetes and prediabetes because it makes it harder for the body to control blood sugar. Getting in the way of the hormones leptin and ghrelin, which control hunger, makes obesity and weight gain worse. In turn, this makes you want more junk food. When you don't get enough sleep, your immune system gets weaker. This makes you more likely to get illnesses like the common cold and less resistant to immunizations. It raises the risk of cancer because it helps tumors grow and stops natural killer cells from doing their job. What the World Health Organization calls working the night shift, a probable carcinogen. Men whose testosterone levels drop because they don't get enough sleep have lower sperm counts and lower quality sperm. In terms of genes, not getting enough sleep on a regular basis changes how hundreds of genes are expressed. This, in turn, changes important biological functions and can even shorten the life of DNA encasing structures like telomeres. Dr. Walker says that people who sleep less tend to live shorter lives. The idea that you can catch up on sleep is shot down by him. In reality, the brain can't make up for lost sleep. What and how dreams happen. Part 3. What are dreams? Part 3 of the book talks about them in detail, mostly in terms of rapid eye movement, REM, sleep. The routinely psychotic dream state that Dr. Walker described includes hallucinations, delusions, feeling lost, and having big changes in mood. During rapid eye movement, REM, sleep, the brain's activity patterns are very different. The prefrontal cortex, which is the brain's logical executive, is not active, while the emotional and memory regions are very active. According to modern neuroscience, dreams may serve adaptive purposes, which goes against early theories that said dreams should be fulfilled, like Freud's. Researchers have found that dreaming about emotional events during rapid eye movement, REM, sleep can help us deal with trauma and anxiety by taking away the painful emotional charge from bad memories. In a neurochemically safe state with low adrenaline levels, this can happen. How to think creatively and solve problems. Dreaming and rapid eye movement, REM, sleep are important for putting together things that don't seem to go together, making connections, and getting the gist of bigger ideas. Because of this process, famous songs and discoveries like the periodic table were made. Figuring out social signals. REM sleep. The more sleep we get, the better our brains get at reading people's faces and understanding complicated social situations. The book also talks briefly about the idea of lucid dreaming. People who have lucid dreams are aware that they are dreaming and can control what happens in the dream. Scientists have proven that lucid dreaming is real, but they still don't know what the pros and cons are. Fourth part. From drugs to a social revolution, the last part of the book talks about the outside factors that keep us from getting enough sleep and suggests a new way for individuals and society to think about sleep. Modern things like controlled temperatures, electric light, caffeine, alcohol, and strict work schedules enforced by things like factory whistles and time cards, say Dr. Walker, have all messed up our natural sleep cycles. There is a strong argument in this book against sleeping aids, saying that they don't work as claimed and can cause cancer and higher death rates. They don't usually have much of an effect on how long and how well you sleep, and studies have shown that they aren't always better than a placebo. There are safer and more effective ways to deal with insomnia in particular. Cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, has become a popular non-drug treatment option because it works and lasts a long time. As for good sleep hygiene, everyone should try to stick to a regular sleep schedule. Make sure their bedroom is cool, dark, and quiet. Avoid caffeine and alcohol in the hours before bed, and let their eyes get used to natural light during the day. Dr. Walker gives advice on several fronts to help people sleep better. One person, smart home devices and sleep trackers can be used to create personalized sleeping spaces with the right amount of light and temperature. We can find the link between sleep and health by looking at each person's records. Academic and personal, adding lessons to existing school programs about how important it is to get enough sleep. Parents are making sure their kids get enough sleep because they know how important it is. As an organization, businesses are beginning to understand how important it is for their workers to get enough sleep. To support this trend, they are giving people incentives or even changing people's work hours. Getting better sleep in places with a lot of stress, like intensive care units and neonatal units, can help patients get better. The government and public policy should work together to teach people about the dangers of driving while sleepy and to make more people aware of these dangers. Work hour rules need to be changed for jobs that are hard on the body, like medicine. Important hints. Dr. Matthew Walker's book, Why We Sleep, always gets across the same message. Sleep is not a luxury, it's a biological necessity. If you consistently get less than the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night, you will hurt your brain and body badly, be more likely to get many diseases, and live shorter. People all over the world are being affected by the widespread lack of sleep in modern society. We need to all rethink how important sleep is to our health, happiness, and productivity. You should all read this book because it's a strong plea to put sleep first. Think about how often you normally sleep. Do you give yourself 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night? What can you do to get better sleep? If you care about your health and well-being, do it. Book Depths and Insights is glad you looked into why we sleep. If you like this episode, please leave a comment and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and come back for our next in-depth look at another interesting book.